1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
The following video may contain content parents may find unsuitable for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everybody, it's Unger again. Welcome to another Minecraft podcast, Let's Play building thing that we do every week. Basically, I play Minecraft. Sometimes people join me, sometimes they don't. We also talk. Sometimes I talk, but sometimes other people talk. Sometimes nobody talks, and I just build stuff. But yeah, but in general, we always seem to have a good time at it, so, you know, we're going to do that. Sounds like a lot of fun, right? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this man. Somebody once told me the world was gonna... Yeah, so, when you, are on the... You saw my playthrough of that. He's talking about Digimon Survive, Caps. Yeah, remember when Shuji bullies poor defenseless little Lotmon, and poor little defenseless little Lotmon decides to bully him back, or invite him to dinner. Anyway. Anyway, but yeah, so in the true path that you unlock by playing through the game once, when Ryo survives, right? When you get to that point where Shuji starts bullying Lotmon, pretty much right before Lotmon changes into a huge monster and eats Shuji, Ryo just comes up and punches Shuji in the face. He's like, what the fuck? So that's how that ends up working out there. Literally, you save that one guy, he stops everybody else from fucking up. That's how much of a Chad he is. Keeps the rest of your fools in line. Nice. Yeah. So, with the other characters, you want to get their affinity up. I think it's like, what, 60 or 70 to get their final ones, right? You need to get their affinity up relatively high to get their megas, unless they're story megas, but in which case they'll get them whether you like it or not. And spoiler alert, if it's the kind of story mega I'm talking about, you won't like it. At least not at first. But yeah, literally, more than half the characters have or half your remaining characters are going to have a branch option that basically sends one of them off the deep end. Like, you know, so... Yeah, well, that's the thing is, you know, I won't say who, but in each of the in the paths that you have remaining to you, you know, because like I said, there's a choice coming up that you're going to have to make, and like I said, the game makes it very important and obvious that this is the important choice that I'm talking about. So you won't miss this choice when you know that I'm talking about when you see it. But there's a choice that you have to make, and I'm pretty sure. Yes, that thing. Yeah, it'll be like, yeah, you might want to save before you make this earth-rending choice. Anyway, so there's a choice that you have to make, and all the options sound really samey. But there is one for each of the alignments. Moral, harmonious, and wrathful. Right? So, I think it's... Because I think I did the harmonious choice on my first playthrough. I might have done a different one. No, I think I did the harmonious one. That's what it was. Anyway, but basically, yeah. But basically, that choice not only impacts which mega you wind up with, but it also influences what types of choices the NPCs make from that point on. And at least 2 out of the 3 paths, you're going to wind up losing at least 2 more characters. And one of those characters will basically go berserk after the first one dies, and their mon will evolve into some horrible, nasty virus piece of shit that tries to murder everybody. So, and then on your next playthrough, you get to use that as their mega. But you know, but like that, it's like a pattern. Like, so yeah. Well, like, you know, if you think about it, what would it take for Kaito to go that berserk, right? You know, and then maybe you can figure out what kind of horrible shit I had to endure. So, anyway, yeah. So, you know, so yeah, you know, so yeah. Anyway, but like I said, it's something where, yeah, there like. But there's a, yeah. So there's like I said, there's at least 2 different choices where you're gonna lose like 2 characters, and one of them you're going to lose to them just going off the fucking deep end. You know, like the first one you lose will be, you know, some other thing, but the second one will be them basically going off the deep end because the first one died. You know, like so. So yeah. So yeah, if you think about, you know, who you have left, you could maybe guess as to who might be driven insane by who. But anyway. But yeah. Anyway. But yeah. Because the thing is, the story will play out relatively similarly for the most part. But you'll be focused in different areas depending on which path you choose. So it's going to be, because, like I said, the choices all sound like they're the same thing, right? But it just changes the way that your character focuses on the situation, which changes the way everybody else focuses on the situation. So it's a, you know, and like I said, I'm really trying not to spoil. I'm really trying hard not to spoil things, but it's like, you know, it's something where, you know, it'll give you 3 very samey sounding choices, but like I said, you could, you know, you can still see the. I think you can still see the alignment on the choices. So, you could pick the one for the alignment of your choice, but just be prepared for the fallout. Yeah, and I think, jeez, but yeah, because you said you're planning on playing through all of them eventually, so I won't spoil the ones that you're not playing through first, you know. So, but yeah, it's but yeah, yeah, there's some shenanigans going on there. It's kind of crazy. Oh yeah, totally. Now wait till you see the best ending, because the best ending has some like wibbly wobbly timey wimey shit happening. Like it's, you know, like, you know, that shit got wild. So yeah, but no, I totally love Survive though. No, you know, well, like I said, I'm not gonna spoil it. Not gonna spoil it. So, yeah. No, not the dream ending. That wouldn't be a good ending at all. I mean, unless, you know, you like had a bunch of people die and then you woke up and it was all a dream, that would be, you know, but Secret Six ending, coma, genocide ending. uh uh wipe them fools out. Oh. Okay, me. So we're trying to fix, okay. That should work. Yeah. Yeah. Aoi could be a pain to get her friendship on, especially if you're not like focusing her big time. Like, she tends to lag a little bit behind the others because at first she gives very little friendship for responses. Even though she's kind of the character who seems like the most stable one, Yeah, exactly. A lot of the other characters, like especially Ryo, you're gonna find that once he in the on the straight path, on the best path, whatever you want to call it, the victory lap, whatever you want to call it, when you get to that point, like once you get past the point where he's supposed to like bite it, in the original playthrough, his friendship tends to rise pretty stinking quick. Mainly because they know that, like, the developers figured that he'd be the guy that you were missing. You would definitely need more evolutions for him, because like he's not going to have any. So. So yeah, him and Shuji tend to gain friendship relatively quickly after you get past their death flag points. Because, like I said, the game is kind of it kind of plays up the fact that it knows that you're probably only missing the evolutions for those guys, or like, and then everybody else is running around with freaking megas, so yeah, they don't make it like terribly difficult to get Ryo's affection up in the first place, which is nice, it's a thing. Yeah. But, working on raising your affinity with him is good practice, because, like I said, that's how you save him in the victory lap, when you're doing that again, like, so. Oof. Yeah. So, that Lopmon Evo that went and nommed Shuji. That is Wendigomon. That's its official name. It was actually in the third Digimon movie. Yeah, let me get into the chat real quick. Hey, there we go.
There we are.
But anyway, so it's like the canon villain evolution for Lopmon. So you'll have access to it when you get Shuji back, or like when you're doing your victory lap. Shuji will actually still have access to it, but he will have a story sequence where if you have his affinity high enough, then it will evolve into a different mon at champion level. So he gets a different he gets branching evolutions. So stuff. Why did I messed up there? This is supposed to go. This might need to go higher. Hang on.
I recently had a gander at some of the character designs from Command Mission,
Mm-hmm.
bit more detail, and some of those guys are very Digimon-ish.
Yeah. I love me some Mega Man X Command Mission.
Yeah, I didn't catch the end of it, so I didn't see final forms for boss or anything like that until recently.
Oh, okay. No, I did do this right. It's fine.
Safe? Question mark.
Yeah, I thought I had messed up, but I hadn't. So I was trying to overcorrect, and I was almost going to mess it up. So okay,
We love almost.
we're fine. We're fine. Everything's cool.
Secret passage.
The secret passage in a cave.
What could go wrong? Everything could go wrong.
Yeah.
Surely it's a special tunnel that has been waiting just for you.
Secret tunnel. Secret tunnel through the mountain.
Yes.
Have any of you tried Monster Crown?
Monster Crown? I don't think so.
Wait, what?
It sounds kind of
Gotcha.
familiar, but I don't recall.
It
ever
is
playing
a
it.
monster tamer.
You
Type
know,
of beat.
I wouldn't have guessed. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
I know it's shocking, but
I
that is
know,
what
yeah.
the game is.
That seems like some sort of very monster tamery sort of game.
Yep.
But if I wanted to be more specific, there's this frog fucker standing in the way, and he won't fucking take damage, and he just sits there and he punches me really
Okay.
hard.
So is it a frog who is a fucker, or is it a guy who stands around and fucks frogs?
The former.
Oh,
my
okay.
God.
All right. just checking. Sometimes you gotta check.
Apparently, there's a robust breeding mechanic. Be both. Not the point. Like, yeah. And goes. There are lots of ways to win without grinding, and then it tells me one, and then I look at my guy who it told me to use, and he doesn't have the move yet, which
Oh, no.
I assume means I have to grind him up.
The robot, yeah.
So
Yeah, no, it's like I was talking. I was playing Mario RPG last night because goated. But
Right.
anyway, I was playing that last night, and there was an area and I mentioned that there was that in the guide that I have, which is like an old like Nintendo official guide, like it's an official Nintendo Power Players guide for the game, right?
yeah,
And they were talking about like a boss like from or an area. They were talking about something like really early in the game, and the guide is like, "Oh, the best thing to use on the enemies here is Mallow's snowy attack," and he doesn't pick that up until like level 13, like literally like halfway through the damn game, you know.
Right? Yeah.
So it's like, bitch, how much do you think how much grinding do you think I did? You know? Like,
you're telling me once you got Mallow, you didn't max him out in everything on
Right?
the fucking boonish mobs
It's
in
like-
the forest?
it's like if Mallow is level 13 at that point, you're not going to have any problems. Like, I'm just trying to see if I could find that passage. Because it was like... Oh, man. No, it's not this one. Oh! Yeah, I need to do that. Okay. Yeah, there's an event on Yoster Isle after Raz and Rainey get married, and that happened on the last stream, so I need to remember to go back there. Let's see.
Kimastios. Marioster.
Oh, snap.
I keep seeing so many quirky license plates. Dear God. This one is darkness, but without some vowels.
Huh.
I also saw Fazbear. I'm trying to remember. There was another really good one. Might have
Yeah.
been better than Fazbear. I don't know, people get wacky.
Yeah, okay. Here we go. So yeah, this is in the mole area, right? The area with the frickin' moles, right? Moleville,
mole?
like the mine. Remember that? Like, remember how long ago that was?
The mole mine.
Yeah, when you're searching for the little mole children in the mine.
Yeah.
They're talking about the Sparky enemies. It's like, don't waste Mario's fire specials. Mallow's snowy attack is best, and it's like, bitch.
What?
When you think he learned that move? Yeah. Like what? When I come back later in the game to glory stomp everything? Like, you talk about that? That's when I should use Snowy.
I can't wait to tell some kid going through Red Blue for the first time to wait for Thunderbolt on Pikachu for Starmie.
Yeah. Yeah, wait until Pikachu learns Thunderbolt before you challenge Misty.
Right.
I mean, technically, it's like, what, level 20-something that it learns it? So it's not... I mean,
I think it's only in yellow.
that is a shit ton of grinding, though. Anyway. But yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure Pikachu doesn't get T-Bolt naturally in Red Blue.
Oh, gross. But yeah,
Yeah,
just just had a piece break off my glasses for no reason, so I'm gonna do some emergency glasses surgery.
Repair mode.
Hmm. I have some electrical tape sitting here by the computer, so I'm just gonna snip off a piece of that and try to put my damn glasses back together. This poor pair of glasses, man. It's old as fuck, and
Been through hell.
okay, let me just
Time fuckery is your favorite segment on any games.
yeah. Oh man. Jeez. Stop breaking more while I try to fix you. Oh, jeez. All right. All right, that's gonna be uncomfortable as fuck, but but I fixed it. All right. Tone down the battle speed.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Nah, just walk in like you own the place. You'll be fine.
Right. No pressure.
Uh, my nose isn't as bad off as last night, but it's still got some congestion
Yeah.
and sneezing going on. So,
I hope it clears up soon.
yeah, me too. Not being able to breathe is not fun. Even if it's just through your nose. Because, when you can't breathe through any part of your body, you just sort of die. Anyway.
Right.
The interesting thing is, and science hippies have checked this, so and it works. It's not as efficient, mind you, but it does still actually work. Technically, this is. I'm not saying that this is anything that's useful in an emergency situation or anything like that, but if you're not, if for some reason you are not able to breathe through your nose or mouth, you can temporarily take in oxygen through your ass.
Yeah.
Basically,
No process.
The anus has a mucous membrane, which readily absorbs things that are inside of it. So, it's funny because there was actually a medical treatment way back in the day where they would literally blow smoke up your ass, and they thought that was helpful somehow, but it was probably the oxygen that was mixed in with it that was helping more than the smoke itself. And that's where we get the phrase "blowing smoke up your ass." By the way, it was actually a real thing that we used to do to people when they were like unconscious. Oh yeah. But anyway. But eventually medical science figured out that it was pretty much useless, and they stopped doing that, which I'm sure injured and unconscious people appreciated the paramedics trying to revive them, not sticking a tube up their ass and blowing smoke in there. Oh, man. And once medical science gets something in its head that it thinks works, it's very, very hard sometimes to dissuade them and go, no, you're full of shit.
That is provided you can even get everyone, doing what they think is right by the book in the first place.
Right, yeah, but, it's something where,
Medical science is funny beast.
medical science do sometimes be that way. Just...
We love money. Life-saving medical science.
Save these lives with some science. Sweet, magical science. Oh, man. So I'm just doing... Okay, so yeah, it's basically just... No, that's not right. It should be... I must have gotten one wrong somewhere, so it should be... that... that... Oh. so this should be... And then... Oh, I see. Okay, so there's supposed to be 2 there, 2 there. Okay, I think we're on track now. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, we're good there. Okay. And then... Oh, a sec, something's wrong here. So this is... Okay. So this should be there. And yeah, there should be one lower. And that goes there. Okay. I feel like I'm confusing this issue more than it needs to be confused. Okay, so that's this spot here. So that's fine. And then move up here. And yeah, that's great. Let me get up to this one. That's... Okay, that's looking good too. And then... it should be... this right here. And then 1, 2, 3. And then those. And then should be a thing there. Okay. And then there we go. Alright, I hope I don't end up having to fix that whole mess later. Because it looks like it could really, really suck. Okay. Let's go back down here. Play in the safe space for a while. There we go. Actually, okay, yeah, let's grab this. There we go. Okay.
Only a living bird range.
Right. Ugh. Mm. Oh man. Okay.
I put a tiny little rose farm in your garden, or in your castle. Sorry, not sorry.
No problem. Uh,
Infinite roses.
oh, a minute here. This is
Breaking the game with this one.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This should be 1, 2, 3, 4.
What part of the game are you breaking with it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's correct. And this one should only be 4. So this is supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Why is that completely wrong? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, So it's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then like that. And then we're going to keep building up. So another 2. And then good grief. Ugh. That was kind of messed up. All right. Don't know why that happened or how. I must have been looking at like the wrong part or something, but okay, so should go on another. Let's see. Oh. Okay, and there we go. Wait, axolotls are actually spawning in the moat with the generator?
Are they? Well, that's good news.
Yeah, because they're supposed to. They're supposed to keep all those other pieces of shit out of my damn moat.
Right?
No. Ugh. Mm. Okay. Okay, there we go. And then that action. Goodness. This man got some apocalyptic drip levels, I'm telling you. There we go. He's starting to shape up a little bit. Man. I almost got his pants done. Almost. Small amounts of pants. So, one of the funnier things about Sailor Moon is the reason that that the creator Naoko Takeuchi isn't working in manga anymore. Like she doesn't, or she's not doing her own manga anymore, I should say, because she's still definitely working in manga.
I've seen.
But basically, the creator of Sailor Moon, Naoko Takeuchi, she married Yoshihiro Togashi, who is the mangaka who draws Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter. And writes the stories for both, obviously. he actually wrote a gag in one of his manga, Yu Yu Hakusho, and this gag didn't make it to the anime version. They cut it. But basically, there's a scene where Yusuke and Kuwabara are being attacked behind the school, and this rose comes flying onto the battlefield, and it sticks into the ground diagonally, just like Tuxedo Mask's rose. And then they look up, and it's Kurama on the roof of like a shed in the back, you know, like. and he even says something to the effect of just call me Tuxedo Kamen, or you know. But the thing is, at the time he hadn't even met her yet, so that was just a completely organic gag that he threw in there, because he didn't end up meeting her until after he finished Yu Yu Hakusho. He was actually, I think he was working on the manga Level E at the time when they met, and he ended up meeting her at a party, and I guess they really hit it off. They, after all, they do have quite a bit in common, so but yeah, so I think she actually did a little bit of assistant work for him on Level E. And then after that, you know, like I'm pretty sure she is working still for him as an assistant on Hunter x Hunter now that they're married, because he's still working on Hunter x Hunter. So anyway, so yeah. But that's why she doesn't write her own manga anymore, because she is working as Togashi's assistant on his manga. So, you know, she doesn't get a lot of chances to show off her shoujo art style in his manga as an assistant, but you can see her little touches here and there occasionally, you know. But yeah, when Takeuchi was interviewed about how she came up with the sort of iconic personalities for her characters, her answer was just the sweetest thing. She basically said, "I just tried to envision the types of people that I would like to have as friends," you know.
I see.
You know. You know. Oh, jeez. The jump scare. But yeah, in the manga, Tuxedo Common actually has his own special attack, just like the girls do. But his is I think it's called Smoking Bomber, and I think he kills a grand total of like 1 enemy with it, and the rest of the time it's basically just a smoke screen. It's called like Tuxedo Smoking Bomber or something like that. Anyway, didn't make it into the anime. Whenever he mixes it up on camera during the anime, he usually just uses his little cane and just sword fights with it, basically. Or sometimes literally sword fights. But typically, he doesn't use the sword while he's in the Tuxedo Mask costume, or Tuxedo Common costume. He will usually use the sword when he's in his prince mode, I guess. Corporate Republic of Nick. Oops.
What are you doing?
Hi there. Did you say oops because you meant to lurk?
Like, oops, I meant to put the lurking status.
He's a lurker. We'd love to get slimed. Is this normal? I mean, it's not the weirdest thing. Like, there's a lot of people who grew up watching Nickelodeon that, low key, would just love to see what it's like at least once, so, I don't think that's terribly weird. Like,
no, unless you're talking about a different slime.
yeah, there's that.
Surely it tastes bad. That is my guess.
I think the Nickelodeon slime was actually formulated so that it wouldn't matter if it went in people's mouths, but I don't know how the taste was. So I think it was food safe. Just because of the slime in general, that's like the first, because I'm an 80s kid, I was raised, during that time, that's the first thing I think of, second would be like Slimer from the real Ghostbusters. Or for Ghostbusters in general. Those are the two things that come to mind. because when you're talking about slime being poured on you, that definitely it definitely is evocative of the way Nickelodeon does it.
One or the other.
You know,
Yeah.
like, because I don't know if you watched Nickelodeon back in the 80s like I did, but the whole slime thing on Nickelodeon, the reason that they have the Nick is the only salvation. The only reason that Nickelodeon has that Splat logo, and what got them into the slime in the first place is because back in the 80s, Nickelodeon wasn't producing much of their own programming. I think the only show that they were actually producing themselves completely was Double Dare, which was a game show centered around children.
Right.
And the rest of their programming was produced in other countries: Britain, Canada, Japan, France. You know. It was originally made in other places and then like localized and put on, Nickelodeon for children. And one of the shows that they picked up from Canada was a sketch comedy show called You Can't Do That on Television. And You Can't Do That on Television had a rule on the show where if you said I don't know, for any context in any reason, whether it was during a sketch or during an interview or, for whatever reason, if you said the words I don't know, you had green slime dumped on your head from, the ceiling. So...
I used to watch
Yeah, so that was the first appearance of slime on Nickelodeon, to my knowledge. And it sort of became emblematic of the network after a while. They started using slime on certain other shows, like Double Dare, for example. I think they may have used slime in that show at one point.
I used to watch a bit of that when I was 5.
But yeah, so yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it was a sketch show where they would do sketch comedy bits, and a lot of the actors were children, and then they would also have an interview segment where they would have people on the show and interview them and ask them questions, which is usually where the I don't knows came in. Because sometimes instead of asking them a question about themselves, they would just ask them, what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow, or something, like one of those types of fact questions where they were trying to nail them, So, but yeah, so they would try to kind of deliberately provoke the guests into saying I don't know sometimes, but yeah, it's just it was funny too because a lot of the time people would get slimed on purpose, but they'd make sure to be really close to somebody else so that they got some of it too.
Yeah.
Because that slime was coming from really high up and it would splatter. So, but yeah, they had all these really iconic bits on the show. They had the one with the lockers. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Right. But, yeah. Well, see, because what they would do is they would get them relaxed and get them to let their guard down, with a bunch of easy questions, and then they would hit them just out of nowhere with the hard question, and to try and they would, you know, because the idea was if they forget that that's a rule and they're just talking normally, then and they're relaxed and everything, then you know, then they get the slime. So, but if you've ever seen the show, you know what I'm talking about with the bit with the lockers. They would have this wall of lockers, and they would have the different characters like just popping out of lockers to join in on a conversation, you know, like so there'd be this wall of lockers, and then one of the lockers would open up and somebody would pop out and they'd like ask a question, and then somebody else would pop out of another locker and continue the conversation, and then like it would keep going like that, you know, and it was usually only one or two lockers open at a time, like. But it was a fun little bit. They actually made fun of it on Robot Chicken at one point, somewhat more recently. They were parodying the whole show. You can't do that on Robot Chicken, I think. I don't want all. If you want to swap it to where all of them aren't pink, that's fine. You know, because it's a little weird that they're pink, but. On the thing, so.
On the room at some point.
But yeah. Anyway. But yeah, so. But yeah, the show, you can't do that on television. I always enjoyed watching as a kid.
Yeah, same.
It was pretty funny. Like they had a lot of the recurring sketches were iconic and classic. The Barf's Burgers sketches. Barf's Burgers was basically it was like I don't think it was like supposed to be a school cafeteria. It looked more like a mall food court type place, and it was, you know, the chef there was this guy named Barf, and the kids would be talking about. Like they would make their order, and then Barf would come and serve them food, and the kids would be talking about something, and somebody would mention something disgusting, and then somebody would go, "That's disgusting," and then the other person would go, "That, what do you think's in the burgers?" And sometimes multiple characters would say it at the same time, and then they'd like take the top off the burger and look, and it'd be, you know, whatever the disgusting thing was, and then they'd lean over the side of the booth and barf, you know. It's just, you know, like it's that type of running gag. You had Alistair, who was in prison for some reason, and so you had this. He's like chained up in this dungeon, and there's this like Nazi-looking dude that would come down there with a whip and talk to him. You know, what else can I remember from that show? Like, there's just. Those were the big ones, I think, the most iconic ones. But there's a bunch of other recurring sketches in there too.
I remember the more iconic ones.
But yeah, but yeah, I remember. I think, if I remember correctly, I think they actually interviewed Captain Lou Albano at one point on the show. And I remember that interview because he actually, during the interview, they asked him about wrestling being fake, and he said, yeah, it's not 100% real there. So, which I thought was really interesting, because during the 80s, kayfabe was much stronger in pro wrestling than it is today. So I remember that one vividly. And like I said, I think it was that show that he was on. It might have been another show that he was interviewed on, because there was another show that had similar, like, kid-centric interviews. I think it was called "Don't Just Sit There." But it might have been that show that interviewed him. But anyway. But I remember it being on Nickelodeon. It was definitely something on Nickelodeon. But yeah, so Nickelodeon, like I said, back during the 80s, they used to have a lot of anime on there. They had shows like Calliope and Pinwheel, and like a bunch of British and Canadian shows. Curious George, you know, you know. Oh man, but yeah, the Babar, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I saw it the first time. So that, you know, like saying I don't know, but phrasing it differently. Yeah, I don't know if that works or not, but like, you know, but yeah, you know. But no, it's something where the show itself I thought was very creative for what it was. So, but yeah, like it's so funny because like I said, you know, a lot of those those early Nickelodeon shows kind of ran together. For example, one of the series that I used to love to death when I was a kid was Spartacus and the Sun Beneath the Sea. But it came on right before the another an anime called Mysterious Cities of Gold, and you know, right. Oh man, stare deep into my profile pic. Yeah, but anyway, so the Spartacus though, the show Spartacus and the Sun Beneath the Sea, like I said, it was one of my favorite shows on Nickelodeon at the time, and I thought it was anime, you know, for a long time, and then come to find out it is anime, just not the Japanese kind. It was a French show that they had localized for American audiences. So it's a French anime instead of a Japanese one. But that one is a very musical show, and of course they did English versions of all the songs. You know, but yeah. Somewhere on YouTube, that, you know, yeah, you know, the French do a lot of, they do still have a lot of their own animated programs, but a lot of them do kind of have a very similar style to the Japanese ones, which is kind of funny because they both use the term anime or anime to describe them. So, but yeah, but anyway, the problem with Spartacus is that they have not done a physical release of that show on like video in the US ever. Like, as far as I could tell, as far as I could determine, there's never been an official US release for that show. I think the most recent, the closest we've gotten is there was a Corporate Republic of Nick. I'm guessing it's something to do with Nickelodeon, from the way you've been acting, but yeah, So the funny thing with that show, the Spartacus and the Sun Beneath the Sea, is first the name Spartacus is spelled differently than the Greek one, and it's not about that character at all. Like it's more of like basically the plot, such as it was, is about an underground civilization called Arcadia, and their sun is dying. So they send somebody up to the surface to I can't remember if she's supposed to be searching for a replacement or just a way to fix it. So, but she's our protag, and you know, and along the way she meets tons of crazy characters. So yeah, and like it's pretty wild. Like not gonna lie, it's got some interesting stuff going on in that show. There's a game where she played like a version of chess with somebody, where her and her companions were the pieces. Like, you got multicolored stars. All right, sweet. Oof. Let's see. Oh man. Getting slimed, right?
Right.
That would make Congress a lot more fun. When they're doing those big investigations, and they're grilling whoever they're talking to, you know, and they're going, oh, I do not recall, you know, just dump slime on their head. You know, how about now?
Right.
It's all cold and wet.
Old.
And they're in their freaking $300 suit, you know. Just got ruined by freaking green dyed whatever that is, you know.
Green dyed sludge.
Yeah, just.
I mean, now that you mention it, they should probably start dressing like clowns, eh?
I mean, they would fit,
should
like,
be.
you know, the dress for the job you have, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
They can make the Senate circus themed. It'll be
Right? Yeah.
the
It's just
Juggalo takeover.
they walk in. As they walk into the session, it's just blaring over the PA. You think they might start taking things a little more seriously if they started doing that? Like, just be like, hey, if you're gonna freaking act like clowns all the time, and make this into a circus, then we're gonna treat you appropriately. Make them
Have you earned your red nose today,
right.
Congressman?
Make them wear red noses and rainbow colored wigs. Oh my gosh, I'm liking this idea more and more.
Yeah.
Just beautiful.
Shenanigans.
Ugh, bedtime.
Small amounts of bedtime. Oh man. It made of vanilla pudding, applesauce, green food coloring, and oatmeal. I believe the oatmeal because it does look chunky.
Yep.
I think I remember hearing that there was oatmeal in it, but I also remember hearing that it was cold for people who have gotten slime before. But yeah. Oh, this is coming together really nicely. His legs are just about done here. Yeah. Sprite of the logo. That might be a good thing to do. Let's try to find a sprite for the Sailor Moon logo. I did find a sprite of Luna, which that'll be fun. Right, yeah, exactly. That slime was not known for being being warm and pleasant.
Exactly.
There we go. Perfect. Gak, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I missed that.
the home toy version. Nickelodeon Gak.
I think I used to home Gak when I was a kid.
Yeah. Oh man.
Fond memories.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because after GAC came out, there were a bunch of companies that like started imitating it. You know.
Right. Yeah, well, whatever did happen to it.
Yeah. Floam was more of like a sculpting thing. It was made for like
Yeah.
it was made for sculpting things, and it dried out really easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember having Floam. it didn't last long, because like if you left it out for an extended period of time, or even if you played with it for a really long time, it would start drying out just from being in your hands. You know, like
Yeah,
because your hands would absorb the moisture off of it. Like it was just, you know, it's very. It was. I think they did that on purpose. I think they made it to dry out easily, so you'd keep buying more. But I think it kind of backfired on them, because people eventually went, I'm getting more of that, you know. But yeah,
Isn't the idea to like sculpt something out of it and then wait for it to dry like intensely fast?
yeah, like it's something like some people liked it for that. Some people some people liked using it as like a base for clay sculpting. Like they would sculpt a shape out of it and then let it dry and then wrap clay around it and then fire it, and it would get destroyed, and the gack inside would get, or the floam inside would get destroyed in the kiln.
Yeah.
But like aside from that, like I think a lot of those same people were just as happy using like newspaper or something instead of, you know. Yeah, why did GAC end? Yeah, that's a good question. Like I said, I think it kind of got swallowed by a bunch of competitors. I think there were a lot of competitors that showed up in the market around that time that were producing similar stuff. I remember even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles got in on it because they had the ooze from the show. They had these they had this line of mutating figures which were basically just figures that transformed from one form to another. But basically, they each one would come with a little bucket of slime that you could dump on it, and then they would sell extra containers of the slime separately. You know, the ooze. They would call it. They called it. They didn't call it slime. They called it like, you know. Yeah, exactly. The Toxic Avengers. Nick. The Nick owning Ninja Turtles is something that happened much more recently. Nick bought them out because the original series, like, because gosh, yeah, for a long time it was because the most recent series before Nickelodeon picked it up, I think was a group of series that 4Kids did for it, and then Nick ended up picking up the rights, like wholesale, pretty much. They got like all the rights to it. So yeah, like Ninja Turtles used to like, because that started in like the late 80s, like 89, 88, something like that. So yeah, and it wasn't Nickelodeon at first. Didn't go anywhere near the channel at the time. Like, it was always on broadcast television. Jeez.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, because 4Kids had one on the Fox box, and then they had like a bunch of sequels to that. Like, so. But that one, there was an episode of that show that 4Kids cut entirely because they thought it was too graphic. Because one of the things in that first season of that show was Baxter Stockman. Instead of turning him into a fly like they did in the original show, every time he would fail, the Shredder would mutilate him some. So, like, the next time you saw him, he'd be missing body parts or, you know, things that he wasn't missing the last time. And eventually he was just a he was just a brain in a jar. Yes, there is an episode of the show where the Shredder gets beheaded, but in that show, the Shredder is an alien called an Utrom, and his body is a robot. So, it's basically they fused Shredder and Krang together, essentially. Yeah, exactly. You didn't know that at the time, but so it just looks like they just did the most metal thing ever and cut his head off. Yeah, but and then it's funny too because there's a episode where more Utroms show up and one of them is Krang, but he's not like the same character at all. It's just funny, one of the things that I thought was most interesting about that was what they did with Karai. Because Karai was a character in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters. And in her bio, she's described as being the sensei that taught Shredder. And she's like over 80 years old or some crap, and her voice sounds like a man, and she kind of looks masculine too. And then in the 4Kids series, she's like 18, and Shredder's teaching her, yeah, so. Anyway, so. She's definitely a character who's gone through multiple iterations for sure. But yeah, well, and I'm sure that probably played into Nickelodeon's decision to buy the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise because of their the thing with the slime and everything. Ninja Turtles is very on brand for them. So, I definitely understand why they would want to pick it up, as a property. Let's see, I think. Yeah! Yeah. Oh, man. Time for slime on it. Yeah. I remember for some shows when they would do the slime, they would actually show like an overhead view of the guy up in the rafters whose job it was to dump the slime on people. Like, so you get to see like an over-the-shoulder view of them dumping the slime from the ceiling. Like, oh, man. But yeah. So I have a meme in my meme board here, and the footage came from a Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards commercial, and you'll probably recognize it since you're such an aficionado, but I'll go ahead and play the meme.
And his name is John Cena.
Oh yeah, that.
Uh, I just felt that just perfectly exemplifies John Cena there. Yeah, but
And his name is John Cena.
yeah. Yeah, I personally love that meme. Yes, John Cena he's also hosted the Kids' Choice Awards, I think, more than any other celebrity. Just pretty much just because kids love him so dang much. You know, like. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how's your phone going to recognize what it can't see? That sounds perfectly reasonable.
FF6600. Oh, interesting. Blaze Orange, as they call it.
It's not good. We need to. go. Go. Rockets take too long. Make a spell that launches mobs like projectiles. Honestly, this is shaping up really nicely right now. Yeah. All of the ooey gooey goopiness. So let me just zoom out a little bit here. you have to view it in sections because yeah, so anyway, I finished that, and it wouldn't fit properly on the maps, so we made a frame, and I'm filling the rest of the frame with other things, so I'm doing Tuxedo Common over here, since he didn't get to be in the original picture. But yeah, so yeah, eventually we'll fill up the entire thing here, just to give you kind of an idea of what we're currently looking at. This is what it's kind of. Yeah, the stars look way better, Caps. Thank you. It looks very much more. They look more like stars now. which is great. Like it makes it look like some are brighter than others, you know. So yeah, that's what the overview looks like. Caps was saying that for the top part, I should probably do the logo, which would probably not be terrible. You know, I could see myself putting the logo there, especially if it's the Japanese logo, because then nobody will realize that I've screwed up on it. But I digress. Anyway. Yeah, it's definitely meant to look like Sailor Moon for sure. But yeah, I basically found a sprite from one of the Sailor Moon video games and just sort of copied it. You know. So the little version isn't perfect, but it works, you know. Not over here, but Japan had quite a few. They had RPGs and fighting games and so yeah, and then there's a ton of people that have taken sprites from other games and then made sprite art for Sailor Moon characters out of those sprites. So there's a metric crap ton of Sailor Moon pixel art available online, is what I'm getting at. Yeah, no, I'm aware of the Nickelodeon game. They're like, it's like everybody's doing one. There's a Nickelodeon one, there's a Warner Brothers one, there's Brawlhalla. Good grief. Brawlhalla is a free-to-play fighting game that's like multi-platform, so you can play it on mobile or Xbox or Switch or whatever. And that has a bunch of Nickelodeon characters in it, so it's got like SpongeBob and the Ninja Turtles, for example. Now, the unfortunate thing is that those characters are like paid skins, basically, that you have to spend real money to unlock. But there's a bunch of free characters you can play as too. So, but yeah, so. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on here. So oh. Alright, well, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end off the stream here. It's been a little over 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know, he's coming along really nicely. I should probably be able to finish him next week. Does it?
Does it?
I don't know. Maybe does it sound that way on Discord or on stream? Because I'm.
Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.
Anyway, I am a little congested. Sorry about that. Anyway, but Anyway, I want to thank everybody so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. We'll be back to continue this next week, so look forward to that. Of course, as always, I do hope everyone has a great day. Oh no, Caps. And you know, good luck with the slime love. You know, I hope it returns your feelings sometime. Anyway, bye bye.
Hey, everyone.